Like, so many gurus are wrong about spirituality. So many people are wrong about spirituality. So many of them just learned it from some other guy that pulled it out of his ass. And then they all just are a big line of pulling shit out of their ass in a book. Like, I've like been spiritual for 7 years. Like, I started off like believing in like demons and shit, and then I started off like believing in energy vampires and parasites, and then I started off, and then I was like, I didn't believe Christianity, but I believed like Hindu dogma of like karma and rebirth and shit like that. And then I realized like, and then I listened to some near death experiences like 7 years later, or like just got smart about it and realized like it got psychic, and saw my beliefs fed back to me, and was smart enough to realize that the shit I was seeing was made up by my mind, fueled by my beliefs. And I realized that there's a part of your mind in you that will, or like there's a law or a force that feeds you back your beliefs for a variety of reasons, because life is what you make it. It doesn't want to shock you from showing you what's really real and not your belief. And the force of the ego wants to be right, so it creates a playpen for itself that's right. Like, the things I believe in are like free will. That's what I believe in. And I believe in high levels of intelligence from the highest point of your soul, of your consciousness, is like extreme intelligence, and is infinite practically, and is the one that shapes your life. That's what free will is. Free will isn't you're born human and you have decisions to make as human. Real free will is, I create my reality, I create my human existence and all the other planes above it. And the law of attraction is the tool that works for free will. Hey, you want to be robbed? Well, I want to be a robber. Hey, you want to have a symbiotic relationship? Well, I want to have a symbiotic relationship. So we agree, and guess what? Those two people are in different dimensions. There's times, and I think a lot of people, like especially family, like they hang out in the same dimension. Like they have agreements, and they're like, as long as you act like this, you can be in my dimension. As long as you act like this, you can be in my dimension. And then there's some people that are just, and then potentially, I don't think about this that hard, but like people could be in service to each other in the other dimensions. Like they're like, well, this isn't my main focus, but I could act like this, or your mind could make me act like this in this dimension, and I'll just be in service to you in this dimension. But I don't know about that. I think it might just be so connected in oneness that if the thought arises for me, I think I like this better. Like if the thought arises for me to have my life a certain way, that thought is reflected in the thought of everyone else that's alive in reality, and the agreement is made. The free will agreement is made, because it's all coming from God, or it's all coming from a miracle greater than your idea of God. The oneness, the way everything's intertwined. You have free will, but that free will is connected to everyone's, and it makes it so everyone is constantly agreeing on the free will of everyone. And like I'm psychic, right? Like a lot of times, like my for a while, my psychic perception was dominated by my beliefs, and then I stopped believing in a lot of stuff, and I would do a breathing exercise and get my vibration super high, and I would see the real spiritual world, what the spiritual world is really like. It's like breath, energy, sensation, emotion, material, vision, all combined as one, and with the theme of miracles in beauty. And I've seen, so like that's what the spiritual world is like. And the way transformation happens, you're like half in the body, half out of the body, doing a breathing exercise. You can transform and move energy like so easily and so fast, like profound energy, like makes you happy, like cures your depression, cures your trauma. So like this whole dogma about how light, like you got to reincarnate and you got to slowly but surely over millions and billions of years work to the way of enlightenment, that I know for a fact that's bullshit, because the second you fucking die, you're in the spiritual world, and transformation can be so fast in the spiritual world. Nothing's holding you down. It's literally just a matter of energy flow. And that transformation could be like no longer than a week. You could be enlightened, I'm sure of it. Some level of enlightenment. And then from there, you keep growing. You keep going from there. Or you just wake up as your higher self, and that's what it is. You know? There's, like, it's such a joke. Like, it's, like, so fucked up. Like, these guys that are, like, really strong, like, intelligent people, like, really smart people, like, really brave and courageous and like great humans, like it's just because they were born in a time period where dogma was more heavy. Like Paramahansa Yogananda, I think he's a great spiritual friend to have, a great guide to have, but partially that's because he's on you're talking to the part of him that knows the truth, that's on the other side. And like a lot of his books and stuff, like, is full of dogma. It's full of dogma, like karma and reincarnation and like how you have to meditate and stuff like that. Like some stuff is like really good, but other stuff is like fake. Like it's just not real. And it's like he's like an example of someone who's supposed to be so high and mighty and respected and know exactly what he's talking about. And like the cosmic joke is that like this nigga that dedicated his whole life to be right is wrong. And that's like the joke for all monks, priests, and gurus. Practically all of them. And until you realize that, you'll be scurrying around, chasing your tail, sending your beliefs back to you. Like, when you really start to see spirituality or reality, like when you raise your vibration, what happens is you become more aware of sensation, you become more aware of perception, and you see with your perception things as they really are, whether that's in the earth realm or in the spiritual realm. Like when you do a breathing exercise, you're like, wow, like I can feel the air, I could see the green and the foliage, and you get this certain feeling, and it's the feeling of really seeing something. That's what spirituality is. That's like a part of spirituality, like really seeing something. And once you latch on to a belief system, it could be hard to get out of it because you create a personality around it. But like almost every time, like it's like bullshit. Like you see it as bullshit. But a part of you also believes it. Like, and usually the part of you that believes it is the scared part of you, like demons or hell or the devil. So I need Jesus. Like reality is so much. Spiritual world, take it from someone that sees it, is so much better than it's all these people say it is. It's so much more lenient and forgiving than everyone says it is. And transformational. Yeah, transformational. Transform like a motherfucker when you're dead. Super fast. Like all religions, like besides the fact that maybe like the figurehead of their religion was once like an enlightened person, are like chock full of bullshit, dogma, bullshit. If it's a religion, it's fucking bullshit. Besides some like philosophical teachings like that you could put into your life, but you don't have to. Like, there's no religion that, like, you have to do something besides, like, love yourself or love others for, like, to get somewhere spiritually. Like, so many things are just, like, is at very best a path someone else took that may have worked for them. And to act like, but so many religions, like, they take it so serious and they believe it so much that they believe it's the path you have to take, and if you don't take it, you're fucked. Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, for sure, all the monks, lamas, and all of them, they believe you're fucked if you don't do what they tell you to do. And, like, the thing is, like, this isn't just, like, me bashing on Christianity. This is, like, many of the Hindu gurus you listen to. Like, something more, like, profound happened inside of them, and they don't know how to explain it. Or they have some good things to say, but it's mixed in with dogma, most of them. Like, Neem Karoli Baba is such a good guru, and if you really read about him, he's like one of the most powerful gurus there are. And he doesn't say anything about spirituality, he just does miracles and tells you love everyone and feed people. He makes it really simple, like simple fundamentals. Not like, there are 6 versions of the Holy Spirit, and karma cycles go on for billions of years, and you have to purify your karma, and you must meditate 4 hours a day in Kriya Yoga. Or you have to purify your karma, Buddhism, and like it's really fucking hard and takes forever. Or you have to do all this, like, meticulous shit, like, with your mind and the way you act. And then there's, like, the whole thing, like, you should be unattached from the world and live in the spiritual world for your whole life, for as long as you can. Be in meditation and live in the spiritual world. Like, how stupid are you to choose a earth birth with your free will to then spend it in the spiritual world? Spend the whole time on earth trying to give earth up, so you spend more time in the spiritual world. That's stupid. You're here for a reason. You chose to be here. Like spiritual thought is, like, good for a lot of things, but it's like a trap. Like, and it's good for a lot of people. It gets them up, like, a developmental level, or another level, like 2 levels, like being more moral and, like, thinking about, like, who am I to the world? Like, what should I be like? I should love people. But, like, beyond that, like, if a method doesn't work for you, like, don't strain over it. And, like, a lot of methods don't work for people or are too hard. It's like going to the gym for, like, 40 minutes a day will do more for you than, like being, like, a spiritual junkie. Spiritual junkie is just gonna, like, be, like, acting like they, like, with the subconscious feeling that they don't know, acting like they know. And be, like, psychotic. You want to be spiritual? Focus on lucid dreaming. That's like a thing, that's like a spiritual thing that happens to you every night, but there's mad spiritual people that don't do anything with their dreams, don't try and lucid dream at all. Lucid dreaming, if you really try and lucid dream and figure your lucid dreams out, figure out what's going on in the mystery of your dreams, you get high vibrational lucid dreams. You train for astral travel. So a lot of people astral travel by like glitching the system out, like by using a specific technique to like override their higher selves discretion. And then like even then, like it's like just a dream. It's just like another dream. Like very rarely, like it's very rare that someone astral travels in the way that like they're purely in the spiritual realm. Like other spiritual entities are interacting with them. Like most of the time you're just interacting with yourself. And yourself is so powerful and so infinite that it can make you think you're interacting with other people. Like one of the biggest hurdles in spirituality and being psychic is realizing that you're talking to your fucking self, and that your life isn't a movie in the sense of drama. There's no motherfucker named Satan that gives enough of a shit about you to make you watch porn. There's no demon that gives enough of shit about you to be in your astral energy. And you have enough free will that shit can't happen. And I have seen in my lucid dreams a level of ferocity that I can take and form that is so fierce and not even my limit, that I know nothing could stand in my way as another entity, as a human being, as the higher mind. I can be so ferocious that there's no way any other entity could fuck with me. If there wasn't the law of consent and free will.